What typical conventions would you expect to see in a thriller film?
Usually you'd see like characters that are trying to get away or escape and two characters that are trying to help. So maybe you'd have a cops and robbers sort of situation.
What characters would you expect to see in a thriller?
A protagonist being someone that's the main focus of the film, whether it be a murderer or policeman, or maybe someone, for example, in the film Drive, it focuses on a driver that's trying to get on the road to success by robbing or helping criminals escape and being a mechanic at the same time.
What setting would you expect to see in a thriller film?
Well, going upon films like the film Seven, you're in a city sort of area, so it's like very dense cities, so like maybe alleyways within cities, but also you can see locations that are very sort of vast, as in sort of deserts, or a lot of open spaces.
How important would you say music is in a thriller film?
It's very important to help create suspense and help with the mystery of the film. In the film Seven, the music helps out within the scenes and helps you feel quite scared in a way.
What would you say is the most important factor in a thriller film?
I think the music is, because it helps set the scene without even doing much apart from just being sort of non-diegetic music. So yeah, the music.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What typical conventions would you expect to see in a thriller film?
The antagonist versus protagonist, and there could usually be like a large group of antagonists, like a group of people robbing a bank, and then you see two cop partners and them trying to track them down and end their spell of crime.
What characters would you expect to see in a thriller film?
Antagonist and protagonist mainly, and then you'll see the civilians as well in the city areas, because that's where most thrillers are usually set.
What setting would you expect to see in a thriller film?
Large city areas like New York or LA, because they're so highly populated, and it kind of adds suspense to the story because the criminals have to be extra sneaky.
How important would you say music is in a thriller film?
I think it's extremely important because it sets the scene, and it's very important for intros and also when the film ends, because it adds suspense and also builds up the film.
What would you say is the most important factor in a thriller
The
film?
most important factor in a thriller film has to be dialogue, because there's no heavy reliance on CGI or any action shots. It's mainly psychological, and you will usually see a lot of dialogue at the end between the antagonists and protagonists.
Thank you. What typical conventions would you expect to see in a thriller film?
In a thriller film, I would expect a lot of suspense building up throughout the film, and then a climax right at the end when there's the big reveal as such.
What characters would you expect to see in a thriller?
In a thriller, I'd expect to see the antagonist and the protagonist. An antagonist with a bit of an eerie vibe given off, and the protagonist to be sort of the unsung hero.
What setting would you expect to see in a thriller?
Mainly urban or eerie areas that give off a sort of eerie vibe.
How important would you say music is in a thriller?
Music's very important towards building up the suspense throughout the film and builds up to the climax.
And what would you say is the most important factor in a thriller?
The most important factor, I'd say, is suspense, as most of them revolve around the build-up sort of story.
Thank you. What typical conventions would you expect to see in a thriller film?
Fast-paced action, dramatic storyline, and intense atmosphere.
What characters would you expect to see in a thriller?
Like an evil character, bad guy, and like a hero sort of thing, like an investigator.
What setting would you expect to see in a thriller?
Like a city maybe, like crime and gangs and stuff like that.
How important would you say music is in a thriller?
Music's very important for the atmosphere, I think. Without music, we wouldn't be able to have the drama.
What would you say is the most important factor in a thriller?
Storyline, I think, and the action.